We've traveled the world. We're here again. We're back, baby. We'll tell you all about it right after this. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy, dare.
Oh, boy.
Welcome home.
We're back.
We're back. Yeah.
We went to different, well, kind of similar directions, but different.
I think I was a little far
You were
south.
further.
I was
You
a
were
little,
much
a
further.
little farther south than
Much
you were.
further
Yeah.
south than I was.
I'll be headed that way next month. I mean, Bolivia. Not quite as far south
Yeah.
as you went, but
Yeah.
definitely southern hemisphere.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So-
Well, that was kind of the reason. One of the reasons I picked it is
You'd never been southern hemisphere?
never been to the southern hemisphere, and really can't tell a lot of difference. You know, of course not.
How was the weather?
It was beautiful.
Yeah?
You know,
That's
it was
awesome.
fall.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful fall.
Yeah.
And we were, Buenos Aires is on the ocean. So you have that moderating influence of the ocean over the
Yeah.
over the weather. So it was very temperate. A lot of times this is what I wore, just a,
Yeah.
just a shirt like this. And I
They're not cold, not hot. It was.
I had a
nice.
coat. I had a heavy coat.
Yeah.
There was one morning we went out. It was about 50 something. It was pretty chilly, and we stayed in an Airbnb in the Palermo district, which is great, Palermo, Soho. So we could walk to a lot of nice restaurants, walk to a lot of places
That's
we
the
wanted
best.
to get to. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. My wife planned that, and she should always plan the vacations because she's really good at that.
That's-
really.
So you picked the destination. She planned the details.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a
Big
good
picture, details.
Yeah, she's very much a big picture person too.
Yeah.
She's just got a little more of that fact finder
Sure.
than I do.
I feel like the ladies in the family are better at the planning of the details.
Yeah.
Because it's like I was telling Jesse before we left for our vacation, I was like, there's 4 people going, not one. Because the guys are getting and they're packing their stuff, and the moms are like frantically grabbing things for the kids. There's just natural instinct to plan for the
Yeah.
broader group versus
Yeah.
I think when we really started taking some family vacations, 15 years ago or whatever, we had a conversation, and because we were talking about what are we going to do? What are we going to do here? And I finally it kind of hit me. I'm like, it's not a vacation for me if I have to make decisions, because that's
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I make decisions all the time at work. If I have to make all the decisions about the vacation, I might as well stay home because
Yeah.
it's not going to be relaxing
That's fair.
for me.
Yeah.
Shane and I've had to kind of come to a compromise there because she's such a planner.
Yeah.
She wants to have the entire itinerary sorted out, and so
And I'm like, let her do it.
yes, until I am then stressed out because everything's scheduled to the 15-minute point.
Yeah, and that's a problem.
Yeah, and
'Cause
so
it's
we've had
vacation.
to kind of. She needs to have information to be relaxed. I need to have some sense of whatever we feel like we're going to do. So
Well-
we create a structure that's in a boundary, and then after that, she gives me some freedom.
Well,
in it.
and world travel,
You have to have some plan.
Yeah,
you
there's-
can't just wing it. Yeah.
You can't have it scheduled. Nobody else runs on a schedule like we do
Yeah.
here.
Especially in Latin America.
Yeah. Well,
Mañana.
but yeah, and and in China, things just go so screwy all the time. You just never know what's going to happen.
Too many unpredictable.
Too many.
Very.
Yeah. Hey, Emma.
Good morning, Beth and Emma. Emma was like, oh, the lawyer with the facts.
Yeah. I have people for that.
I have
That's right.
people for that. Oh my goodness.
Lauren asked me about this when she came.
Yeah,
to
well, what are you
Yeah.
smoking over there?
He's,
Yeah,
he's
no,
got
I'm
the
not
marijuana pipe.
smoking
It does look
anything.
like a pipe.
It is. It's not a pipe. It's a yerba mate. They don't usually say yerba, but yerba mate. This is. You can buy little tea bags. It's tea basically. This is what they drink all the time in
Looks
Argentina.
gelatinous. What's going on?
The water's floating on top.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. It's soaked in. I just have. But you.
Oh, you need to.
Yo, okay.
There you go.
Interesting. That looks very.
Yo.
Yeah, it's all like. Ooh.
Yeah, no,
What just
it's
happened?
full of the yerba mate
Like
leaves.
full through the leaves.
Yeah, it's
down
full
Is there
of
a
leaves.
filter in
all
there
way.
somewhere?
So the straw actually at the
Is the
end
filter?
is the filter.
It's keeping the stuff out.
Yeah, yeah. So it's full of leaves.
Y'all
So
aren't seeing,
basically
getting the full picture here.
every time you
No,
want
it's
to take
weird
a
looking.
drink, you've got to fill it up with hot water,
Oh,
and then it
Kind of bubbles down.
yeah,
brews it up.
and then you can take your drink.
Is it? Is that a tree? Is it leaves?
Yeah, yerba. You look pretty.
I'm
Lauren,
wearing
Emma
I'm wearing
says.
blue too,
Hey,
Emma.
thanks.
Just
I'm also wearing blue.
just saying,
'cause we're all
you know.
blue.
Thanks, Emma.
wow.
Yeah, there's a tree.
The
It's,
wind
I was-
beneath my wings.
I was feeling pretty earlier.
it's a yerba
Not
mate.
I
anymore.
shirt every day. Apparently, blue's my color.
Apparently, the original indigenous people would just chew the leaves.
Right.
Yeah, but it's a sort of it's supposed to be kind of communal. So they make like big ones of these, and you pass them around. You pass it around.
Oh, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
But
My wife would
I
be
figured
all-
you didn't want to share with me, so I didn't.
No, nope, I'm
No,
good.
we're not.
Caffeine,
What did you say?
antioxidants.
The straw is the filter. Yep, we're
Yeah.
not sharing that filter.
It's caffeine, antioxidants, vitamins. It's supposed to be good for you. So
There's no way to waterfall that thing. You're gonna get a
No,
whole lot of
Oh
grit.
my god, we
No.
had that conversation with the kids. Like, you need to pour the water from the water bottle into your mouth.
Yeah.
Stop doing
Stop
that.
French kissing that thing. What's French kissing? Never mind. Just
Do the airport stuff. Like, airports are the weirdest place on the planet. Like, you land somewhere at 8 a.m. after you've been up since like 3
Yeah.
a.m. and you're like, oh, I'm gonna have Panda Express.
yeah.
sure, why not?
And my body's gonna hate me for it. But I'm so hungry right now. I
So
don't care.
hungry.
I did have this was an interesting experience in the Buenos Aires airport. So, you know, you're going through security and all that stuff. And I was telling Lauren before we got in the air, I've got some glasses that have the video screens in them. So you plug it in your phone, and you've got a big 80-inch TV in front of your face, and it's a great way to fly because it's your own personal video screen. And I've got them out, and they're in the security, and I'm taking everything over out of the tub to put it over to put my stuff away. And as I'm putting all my stuff away, apparently I forgot those.
Ah.
I dropped them. And I didn't really realize it till we were past passport control and at the
geez.
gate.
Oh,
and I'm just
crap.
like,
No.
I was going through my bag and said, I can't imagine. Because, I mean, I remember when I picked him up. I remember when I took him over the table. I said, I can't imagine that I lost him. But I said, we'll find him when we get somewhere. She's like, well, don't you want to go check? I was like, finally. So I went and I checked. And a security person, they said, well, just go back to there. I'm like, back through passport control?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, yeah, sure. You know, in Spanish. Sure, go for it.
Like,
And so I find one of the little passport control guys, Argentinian ones, and he's
wearing them?
he's got exactly this.
that's awesome.
And I had my little Google Translate. I'm like, I think I left these glasses. And he's like, oh, come with me. He takes me passport control back to the security check. I'm like really nervous, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm stuck here
I'm gonna get
forever.
tackled.
Luckily, I had my passport with me.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
continued
On
to
your
have it
person.
on my person.
Yeah.
And got there, and so he's like, well, which one? I showed him which one, and he got one of the. And there's like 5 people now, 5 airport security people in Buenos Aires airport, like talking to me about this. I'm like, it's not that big a deal, guys. If you happen to have found him here, great. If not, it's no big deal. Just let me go back to my gate.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
just
I-
let me go back
right
to
now,
my
I just
gate.
want to be with my
Yeah.
family.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to see, and they checked the lost and found it wasn't there. I'm like, okay, it's fine. And he's like, well, just wait 5 minutes. We've called the video security room to see. He's like, what were you wearing? What was your wife wearing? All this stuff. Where were you at? Like, okay. I said, I just go back. It's no big deal. And they're like,
Yeah.
can you just
It's
wait
not.
5
It's
minutes?
not.
I'm like, all right, I'll wait 5 minutes. And I sat there, and by golly, they came back and said, okay, we found the guy that picked him up. We've got him on video picking him up.
what?
Yeah, and so we're going to assume it was a mistake. I'm like, oh yeah, I don't care. I'm not interested if I get him back.
Don't need to fight here.
That's more than I expected. So
What?
one of the guys, and so we get to talking, and finally he finds out we're discussing. I'm like, well, I'm a lawyer, I'm a judge. He's like, oh, and they got really friendly at that point. Like, oh, yeah, we're friendly. We're talking about this stuff. So anyway, get back to the gate. Like, we're looking for him on camera. We're following him on the cameras to see where they went in the airport. And we're gonna
Wow.
see. They found him. They got my glasses back. Apparently, the guy picked him up and turned them in.
Okay.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
they went and got him, brought him back to me.
That's cool.
And I said, guys, I said, I just can't.
Did you tip him?
No.
That would be an awkward thing. Like, I feel like I should, but
Yeah. Totally.
yeah.
But here's the thing. I told him, I said, because I kept thanking him. They're like, oh, no, it's okay. And I said, listen, nowhere in the United States would anybody have ever gone to this
They
level
just
to help
said,
me.
"You're not supposed to be here, sir. Get out."
Check the lost and
Yeah,
found.
yeah,
Yeah,
they
check the
would.
lost and found.
No one would have ever
Where's the lost and
helped
found?
me
We don't
that
know.
much. Nobody would.
Yeah,
And I was
sure.
super impressed.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome when you run into kindness.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's so. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
But they found him and they brought him right back, and I was super impressed.
Yeah,
And,
cool.
Just shocked that they were that helpful, but
That's wild.
Yeah, very good.
That is wild.
yeah, it was fun. It's a good time.
I figured out, like, before you go somewhere, there's always a Facebook page for that destination,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you join that, and you learn the tips and tricks, and you got to wade through a lot of crap.
Right. Yeah,
like
the
a
person that had the worst
garbage.
experience and wants nobody to ever visit there.
Everyone who always
ever.
has had
Yeah.
food poisoning, they
Yeah.
probably just are sick from traveling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Okay, Karen. All
yeah,
right.
yeah. So
Kelleen.
Karine.
each time I figured out this tip on the customs stuff. And like when we went to Canada, you join the Canadian government's app and you pre-download your passport, and I'm like, that's an invasion of privacy. Your stuff's out there. Like, it's out
Well,
there.
you're going to a socialist
It-
nation. So.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
out there. So anyway, regardless, and whatever. So like you download the app, and it's a government app, and the United States has one. It's called like MPC, like something passport control or something like that, and you upload your traveling parties' passports, and then you get through customs like a celebrity.
Yes.
It's
Interesting.
Yes.
amazing.
I couldn't believe it when we
It's
came
Disney's
back.
Fast Pass, huh?
It is.
They
You just trade it for your soul.
Yeah.
That's
so
it.
yeah, that's it. So
they own you now.
and maybe this is what you had.
Forever.
So we come back through Atlanta, and we're going to back into the country, and you walk over, you look in the camera, it
Yep.
takes your picture and goes, okay, you're good, and that's it.
That's it.
That was it. We didn't even the whole thing. I don't even remember walking through. You know how you used to roll your bags through, declare,
Yeah.
nothing to declare, and you're like, I don't even.
Like you're
that happened?
like you're visiting the
I don't
soup
even-
Nazi.
I didn't even
Scared
remember
to
it.
death.
I mean, there was no.
It's crazy.
Customs or anything. It was
And
so easy.
Literally,
Well-
like when you pull up the app, we're at the airport. Who's in your party? Check, check, check. And it told me go to gate 16 once you walked through the first round of security, and there's a huge line going through U.S. Customs. And then they're like, line 16 has no line.
Mm-hmm.
You walk past all these people who are staring at you like, how did you do that? And you walk up and they're like, you, and they go, okay, go.
Well, a lot of people don't even
Yeah.
know this existed, but before 2001, most travel was fairly easy.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the first time I traveled internationally was 1987.
Yeah.
That's how old I am. But, anytime you go to a foreign country, it's, you still have customs and they're careful, but everything changed
Well,
after
you walk through
9/11,
security with
2001.
pocket knives.
Yeah.
Nobody cared. Oh, unload that pistol before you get on the plane. Stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Leave your Marlboro Reds and
Yes.
your pistol.
No, you can take your
right
Marlboro
there.
Reds.
Yeah,
in
that's true.
87, people were just smoking on the
Yeah.
international
I couldn't
flight.
imagine
Yeah.
smoking
It was really
Right.
something. Yeah.
Well, in Argentina, they.
I
took
always
a
sat in the
thumb
non-smoking section, so it was okay.
Yeah,
it's fine.
You always swim in the non-peeing section of the pool
Right.
too.
Of course I do.
assume, Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
Wait, there's a non-PE section? I didn't know.
Well, when we entered Argentina, they take your picture with the little Logitech camera, and then they've got our thumbprint too. And so when we left, we did that, and
Yep.
okay, you're out of the country now.
Yep.
Which was
So
what made me
interesting.
nervous about coming back.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Yep.
are they gonna let me out? Because you've already left. What are
Yeah.
you doing back here? No, but,
Yeah.
we had a good time. We ate a lot of meat.
Yeah. So, what tell us about the food, because I know that was one of your big.
It was funny. Shelby actually, I think, made better choices than I did. Almost
Always,
every
right.
restaurant we went to, I got what looked like what their thing was, like their
Yeah.
steak and all that. And she'd get something else, and I'm like, well, that fish looks really good. Fish was better.
Yeah.
Great fish. And
Yeah.
but yeah, lots of steak, lots of food. The best probably food experience literally was the Asado adventure tour that we went on.
That
And-
sounds like an adventure.
yeah, Shelby booked that. Guy's name is Frank. He's from Chicago. He's an expat. He's lived in Buenos Aires since the early 2000s. He's got a little home on in Palermo, Soho. And he's an entrepreneur. He's had a lot of different little businesses, and so this is what he's doing now. But you book with him, and he's very inviting. And you come into his home, and he serves you some little beverages and treats, and then you walk around Soho with him. He gives you a little art tour of some things and tells you some history and some things like that. Very affable guy. Comes back, and before you leave, you he shows you how to make chimichurri, and you make chimichurri, and then you light the fire on the grill.
I like chimichurri.
It's good. I actually found a sauce I like better than chimichurri. I can't remember the name of it, but I'll tell you before the show's over. I'll look it up. But then he's got a grill master, a chef who you put all the meat, he puts all the meat out there for you, and then you go on this walking tour, and he takes you around and takes you to a little wine and cheese shop and shows you stuff. You get back, the food's ready.
That's a great concept.
Yeah, if you want to check it out, it's on my Facebook page. I've got pictures of all of this tour on there, but Asado Adventures with Frank. If you ever go to Argentina, don't miss that.
You got to go see Frank.
He did a great job. Yeah, it was
That's
a lot
awesome.
of fun. But the only thing about it, I mean, I'm a hillbilly and everything, but part of the food that he served us there, along with the steak and the pork and everything, sweetbreads, and small intestines.
Yeah,
just a
I'll
pass.
do the sweetbreads. They're not my favorite, but
we don't eat we don't.
I ate them both.
I don't eat organs. I just
I
I
don't
ate
do
them
organs.
both. The small intestines were not good. The sweetbreads palatable, but we're talking about that, and I said something about chitlins, and the other two people on the tour were from Argentina. They were English speaking Argentina, and they're chitlins, and so we were trying to explain what chitlins were, and I'm like. So, I mean, that's why Americans look at sweetbreads and stuff like that kind of with their nose in the air, like, man, I'm not going to eat them. Well, that's chitlin food, that's...
Yeah.
Yep.
So nobody likes that. But apparently it's supposed to be a delicacy, the sweetbreads at least. I'm like, you can have them.
I don't know.
You can have them.
Yep.
There's things I'm just not sold. I don't have to eat that, so I'm not going to eat that. But
Yep.
if I get to a point where I have to eat it, I'll eat it.
Tell us a little bit more about your trip, Lauren.
We went to the Bahamas, and it's always an interesting experience because we went to Atlantis, which is a unbelievably large resort. This was I've thought about it. I don't want to take my kids to Disney World because I feel like I will hate it. I will,
especially this month.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
But I have a real hard time. It's not easy for me to spend a lot of money on a vacation.
Yep.
And I have
Disney's not the destination for you.
And I have a real hard time wanting to stand in line when I've spent. My patience is not great. Like if I've spent X amount of dollars, I want not that.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So this was my trade-off. Like, where is the place I can take my kids where it's probably the magic level of Disney? It's not obviously the same type of theme at all, but where it's, really cool and really fun for the family, but not Disney. And I settled on Atlantis. And I had my friend Danny Stoddard, who's a travel agent, book it for me because I know her, and I was a little uncomfortable because the Bahamas is rough. I mean, like, from the airport...
Outside of the resorts, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, and that is such a weird thing to me. I have a hard time, and there's ghettos everywhere, right? But it is really weird that drive back, especially from the resort to the airport.
Oh,
You're
here's the
just
real
like-
country.
Under armed guard.
And and it's so weird, and it's like, I don't know, but the resort is Atlantis is amazing. Yeah. Like there's nothing like it, I don't think. I'm sure there's other resorts that are equally as nice, but the scale of that, and apparently there's like one in Dubai, so I'm sure it's even more amazing.
Yeah,
but
sure.
It's unbelievable.
They built their own island in Dubai
Yeah.
for that.
There's
They
like
created
whatever. Yeah.
an island out of nothing.
So it was a really great trip. I was really glad that I had, joined the Facebook page before and had got some tips and tricks because, I avoided us getting wicked sunburns and, my food expectations were good because island food is always, it's
amazing.
Well, It is.
Eat the fish.
Yeah, it on a resort like that, it's still resort food at the end of the day. So it's good, but it's not, it's a scale thing,
Yeah.
right? There's thousands of people there. So
Did you do the all-inclusive deal where you
they don't do any of that.
They don't do that,
Like,
okay.
no.
All right.
So you had to pay for everything, and it was not cheap. But, I mean, no place where you travel is cheap anymore. So, well, maybe there is, but
Beijing is cheap.
I can see that, yeah.
Buenos Aires was, I thought, very reasonable.
Yeah.
We ate at a Michelin star restaurant.
That's awesome.
I got us probably a 16-ounce steak. Shelby got a lot. We got appetizers, all that stuff. It was under 190
Yeah.
U.S., which
Yeah.
and then all of our other meals
reasonable.
were probably I would say we would pay less than what we would have normally paid if we were here.
Yeah.
For a comparable meal. Coke is expensive. Like Cokes are $3.
Yeah. Like a can of Coke?
No, well, yeah, but like the McDonald's
Yeah.
Diet Cokes, we always go to the local McDonald's and get a Diet Coke and check out what their local offerings are. But it was what we would call a medium here. Was their large, and it was $3.
Yeah.
You have to ask for ice.
What?
Yeah.
The rest of the world doesn't indulge themselves in extra large
Boy,
things?
we love our
apparently
ice and
not.
extra large
Yeah,
things.
you have to. I've found that almost everywhere I've traveled, you have
Yeah.
to ask for ice, and no straws in Argentina. They don't believe in, except for
They-
these apparently. But
That's a filter. That's a
So-
filter. It's not a straw.
it's true. It's
The
true.
past two different trips, I took the Canada trip and now I've been to the Bahamas. They are much more planet friendly as far as
Yeah.
the plastics.
Yeah.
Then, because the straws they use there, which they're big deals like sea life, right? Which we got to see sea turtles
Cool.
in the ocean. And they're as cute as they're portrayed to be. Like, sea turtles are the cutest dang thing on the planet. It's adorable.
I don't think that the lack of straws in Argentina is a environmental thing. I think it's just a cultural thing.
just don't do
don't
straws.
They just don't do straws. But straws are for suckers anyway. So.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
not a big straw person.
I'm
They
not a
had
straw
straws,
person
but
at all.
They were,
Shayna's always like, ooh, they don't clean those well. I'm like, I don't care. I hate straws.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm the
I
same
don't
way.
like straws. I don't use them. Don't use them when people set.
I'm just, that's just I'm buffing my immune system if that happens.
That's
to be the
right.
case.
But America can do a lot better on the plastic stuff. I really believe that because they're not good for the environment, right? And I don't think they're good for us. And that is one thing I've noticed.
I try not to do the plastic water
I
bottles.
know. That's one thing I've noticed in both the past trips is, we could work a lot better on the plastics things because just the paper, they used a lot more stuff in paper containers. And then the straws, they had straws, but they were obviously made out of some sort of like biodegradable material or something,
Yeah.
And it was just, But I don't know. America could do better on our plastics.
Yeah, the thing is, you look at it, we could. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But the issue is we sign these treaties with other countries, and they don't. They just go, nah, screw it.
Yeah.
Because like you look at it, like 80% of the trash in the ocean is from China.
Yeah, we're definitely not the world's biggest
we could.
polluter.
The
No.
rest of the world could like stop, and
Yeah.
China's
Just
China's
the
still gonna do what China's gonna
manufacturing,
do.
the
Yeah.
manufacturing happening in China and India is always going to trump that. Whatever we do is always going to be totally outshadowed by what they're not doing.
I did a little research, because I was just interested, and 30% of the world's population is Han Chinese.
No joke.
No joke. Yeah, it's amazing.
Wild.
Yeah, just I was interested in what the kind of breakdown was worldwide, and
That's pretty wild.
there's not a lot of white people when it comes right down to it. we're a significant minority. A lot of Indians, a lot of Punjab, but yeah, I just thought it was interesting.
Ballard, what were you up to?
I went to St. Louis.
Yeah.
Yeah, the girls' Final Four soccer tournament was great. So
That's good.
yeah, it was a tiring week last week. It was full, with practice another week, on top of all the normal work stuff, and then 2 nights in St. Louis, and
Yep.
unfortunately we ended up 4th in the Final Four. But the girls played really well. We were actually winning in both games, even late into the second half. We're right there with them, but we just had a small squad, and we've dealt with injuries all year. I'm not making excuses, but we definitely. We just didn't have the depth to kind of see out the end of the games, but I was highly encouraged. Last year we went up there and took 4th and didn't score a goal. This time in 2 games we scored 5 goals and we're in both games. And it literally could have been any of those 4 teams could have won the state title. If we played it again this weekend, I think it'd be a totally different result.
Well, you get disappointed because you end the season on a loss, but 4th in the state.
Amazing.
Yeah, right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
Making
Yeah.
the Final Four, which is, you think about it, 6 sports teams from Log Rock
That's
made
huge.
the Final Four.
Yeah.
6.
Huge.
That is insane. Both boys and girls basketball, boys and girls soccer, and then you have baseball and volleyball that both did it.
It's awesome.
It's just unbelievable.
Where did baseball end up? Do we know?
They lost. They fell 9-1 early in that game, clawed their way back in and lost 9-7. Just fell short in the title game, but yeah, it was hard. We were out to eat, and so we were listening to the audio and kind of watching the scoreboard on our phones while we were having pasta before that was Thursday night before we played our first game on Friday. And so yeah, it was disappointing, but we were proud of the boys. You know, they're close and they're a young team.
Oh, yeah?
So the chance that they could be back are really, really high.
All right, watch
exciting.
Cats baseball.
Yeah.
Very good. But
It is hard though, because I mean, like it's hard to accept that as, because there's always that disappointment.
No, yeah. I mean, you go to win. You don't go to
win.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think last year was a little bit of, hey, we made it to the Final Four.
yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome achievement. This year it was, hey, girls, let's go win. Let's
Yeah.
go win it. And
Yeah.
fell just short, but we were right there knocking on the door, and it was a good time.
That's good.
It was a lot of fun, and just an awesome group of girls, and their families are great.
Well, I still remember back in the 80s when the boys won the state basketballship title.
Yeah. Yeah, Coach Mack, right?
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
a big deal. It was
Yeah.
a huge deal.
Oh,
Yeah, it
yeah.
was.
I mean, everybody's all,
One thing LR's always had is good basketball teams.
Yeah.
Growing up in Republic, we loved playing in football.
Yeah, yep, of course you did.
It was everybody gets to pad their stats.
I did get to go see the boys win that football championship.
Yeah,
too.
I was there for that as
Yeah,
well.
that was
an
fun.
exciting time. So
Peter was playing trombone back then for the band.
yeah,
It was good.
yeah, big time. Yeah, this was a good time. Good time. We missed you guys. We had a good time. Had a good show last week with
That's
Jeremy
awesome.
Meyer on. My only
I
disappointment
caught a
was
little bit of it.
I was trying to get the kids to come on, and just they didn't have quite enough notice to pull
do
that
it.
off, and they all had plans. One had summer school, and the others were off doing other things. But yeah, but it was cool to kind of talk about
That's
the young
neat.
entrepreneurs that we have here in Rogersville.
And we are going to have a spinoff show this summer, a couple
That's the plan.
episodes.
I got to thinking about that. I need to do that. Probably wait until after summer school's over, so like July timeframe. I'm thinking.
Yeah,
May try to do that. May do the mini waffle.
the mini
with
waffles.
Girls.
Oh, that'd
The
be
girls
fun.
want to do the mini waffles.
I love it.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
still think you need to have Nolan on here with them.
wild card.
That's good TV
He is a
right
wild
there.
card.
He is
That's
wild
good
That's
TV.
why we love him. I'd like to see that.
It would be fun.
I enjoyed having him. We had in the build up to the Final Four, we also had kids camp,
Yeah.
kids soccer camp in
Yeah.
the evening. And so,
Oh, did Nolan do soccer?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
He always does.
He's a hoot, man.
He is a hoot.
Nolan's a fun kid. He is such a wild card, though. It's hilarious.
On a tangent
note.
side, completely different note. Yeah, we've really been enjoying Silver Dollar City this year.
The STC.
I've been down there probably 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
And Bluegrass and Barbecue just wrapped up. We got to see Rhonda Vincent in concert, which
Nice.
was amazing. And just get the food passes. Just really been having a great time. If you've
That's
got
cool.
a season pass, that's our benefit. We have a season pass. We can go down there for a couple hours, just enjoy it and
Yeah.
leave, and then not feel like we've wasted a ton of money.
Yeah.
Because we know we can come back. So, but
Yeah.
it's really kind of special that we have that.
I'm about to.
No, it's neat.
I'm about
It's
to
super
enter
neat.
back into that. We got to the high school stage with our kids where we were too busy to buy
Yeah.
passes.
Yep.
But now, staring at the empty nest, it's cheaper for just 2 of us to get them.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
But we're gonna have some time.
And it's
So-
a super fun
do
place.
some
I mean,
things.
Shelby and
Yeah.
I can just go down there by ourselves,
Yeah.
walk around, get a tasting pass, eat some food, listen to some music, and we don't ride rides. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't really ride.
Yeah,
I've
'cause
them
you
all.
feel like you got to ride rides if you just
Yeah,
spend
you
the
don't-
money on a ticket.
Yeah,
you know what I
but
mean?
if you've got the
'Cause it
season
is,
pass,
it's
you don't have to
pricey,
do
but
that.
it's like, but you get a season pass and you
Number
makes
one
no sense.
theme park in the country 3 years in a row.
That's incredible.
I mean, Branson is really. I know it's always been a thing. It's really becoming kind of a second level thing.
Yeah.
Like it's becoming a big deal, bigger than it is for just like the regional people.
It's a
that have
top
always
shelf
gone there.
destination. I mean,
I mean,
think
yeah,
you
it's
know.
really the top of the rock thing happening, and the golf courses that they've added. I mean, it's becoming a big deal.
Well, in the Silver Dollar City, Hershend putting in a
yeah.
whole big resort, basically.
Huge resort, yeah.
That's exciting. That's very exciting.
It is.
Cool things
it's,
happening.
It's really good for this area
Right.
to have that draw.
And if you grew up around here, it's crazy to think about. I remember, when
Yeah.
76 was your only route through town.
Yeah.
and it was literally the Presleys and the Bald Knobbers.
And then Roy Clark showed up.
Yeah, and I mean, it was just
The Foggy
it was
River Boys.
nothing. Foggy River Boys, yeah.
Foggy River Boys.
But there were, and I mean, I remember when the outlet malls came.
Yeah.
And that was like the big attraction, other than Whitewater and Silver Dollar
Well,
City.
Silver
Yeah.
Dollar City, my earliest memories of it, it was the Main Street area, and
the
then
cave and Fire in the Hole.
and Fire in the Hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was that other side where all.
Yeah.
Well, I think the float trip was there,
The
and the train station.
the toboggan, not
No. I'm
not the
talking
river.
pre-toboggan.
Pre-toboggan.
What is now the shooting place, the flooded mine?
Oh, the flooded mine. Yeah.
yeah. That was there.
Pre-toboggan. That's
Yeah,
like a
that's right.
Historical time
Pre-toboggan.
frame.
That was it. It was
the
yeah, that was-
pre-toboggan time.
And it was called the float trip, but
Yeah.
it was turned into the American plunge.
the American plunge.
It was
That
just
was what I was.
it was
yeah,
that
when I
was
said
float
toboggan,
trip.
that's what
Yeah, a lot of where you go on the for the American plunge before you get to the plunge is actually the old float trip.
That's a hoot.
Trip. Yeah.
It's a hoot nanny.
Yeah.
Back in the day,
Yeah. It's come a long way. Was my point.
it's a different place.
We are that age now. We're like back in my day.
Back in my day.
Back
yeah.
in pre-toboggan time.
pre-toboggan times.
We-
Well, I mean, that's a ride that's
Step
come and
in.
gone. You know,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's not even there anymore. But the original Fire in the Hole. You know.
The original.
No, we're not
that's
talking
right,
about the
I
one
forget
now.
that
We're
because
talking
I've
about
not
the
been
original.
there since the new one came in.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
New one,
it's
it's a hoot.
Yeah, I hear it's fun.
yeah, it's
fun.
smooth.
Is it?
You know, the other one kind of beat you to death.
Yeah. Well,
a
you
little
could
bit.
lose your head on
Which
it.
was awesome.
Yeah.
Don't stand
funny.
up.
It's
Yeah,
not
don't
funny.
Stand up.
Not funny.
Don't stand up.
Oh boy. Is that enough show for today, or you guys just you like to keep talking?
No, we rode some water slides, and I broke my toe. Classic Lauren situation.
No.
I
on a water slide?
Yeah, I made it down the slide because
Toes
I
up,
have
Finkel?
contact. No, I have contacts, and so I couldn't open my eyes. So I hit the water, and my
You're
eyes
surprised.
and my eyes hit. And I'm like, oh, I'm trying to be able to open my eyes and see. And wham, I walk right into a wall. Like somehow when
Oh, my.
I shot out of the slide, I didn't go straight. I took a hard left. I don't really know
You're
how.
uneven.
And so when I
Your
went,
rudder was down.
How are your shins?
not good. So this
Broke
is like
me
the
toe.
First, yeah, it was the
All
first.
the way up to my
I
shins.
broke my toe. Which there's a classic. The toe thing is a Lauren thing. Like right before the day of my baby shower with Evelyn, I woke up, went to the bathroom, kicked the wall. Of course,
Oh,
I'm super
gosh.
pregnant. And I'm like, Jesse, I think I broke my toe. He's like, you didn't break your toe. It's fine. He like rolls over and goes back
Over
to
here.
sleep.
I broke my toes so much in Taekwondo. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I've only done it once.
I used to make fun of my grandma for always breaking her toe. You know, you'd hear her walking around the house and then whack, oh, I broke a toe. And I was like, did you really? Yeah.
So it's in the genes.
It's genetic. It's just like the shins. It's genetic.
Long line of toe breakers.
So naturally, like, I'm like, I broke my toe.
Oh, jeez.
Jesse's
He's
like,
like, of course you did. Of course you did.
here's the tape.
yeah.
Just tape it up.
Tape it up. So anyway, but luckily it was the middle toe though, so it's no big deal. You break a pinky toe, it's
Oh,
a problem.
yeah.
That's
Big
what I
toe.
kept
Pinky
breaking
toe.
was a pinky toe.
It's a problem.
Because you throw a kick and somebody block.
Yeah.
Dang it.
I broke my dang toe.
My toe. No fun.
So anyway, that was the only injury though of
That's
multiple
good.
water slides.
And aren't you glad it was you and not the girls?
Yes. Yeah. So, but they had a great time. But water slides, man, they'll beat you up.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
thing.
You can.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
Let's
know.
get to whitewater this year too.
Whitewater's fun.
It is fun.
If you need to feel good about your body image,
I just want to go to.
you feel fine. You're like, I feel good.
I just want to go to Hydroslide. That's
Oh, wouldn't we?
every
all?
time June strikes,
just
because
wanna
that was like
hydroslide.
it.
It was. I mean, we'll never have. Nobody will
No.
ever have that again. Dang lawyers, I'm sure.
Oh, those lawyers.
that
They
place
just-
was a lost.
Oh,
Oh,
I
I
Make me
love that
ridiculous.
place though. Well, that and the
was
barn swings. That was
Yeah.
my childhood.
Yeah.
barn swings were awesome. That was a wonderful thing.
I mean, the things people don't understand. It was the wild, wild west back in the '80s and the '90s.
Did you ever get to do hydroslide, Lauren, or was that after your time?
No, I mean, because I wouldn't have been in Springfield
Right, right.
on for something like that. I don't know when it ended.
Probably early 2000s.
Where
Well,
was it at?
It was across from the Sam's on
South
Campbell.
So that was the
Yeah.
one on South Campbell. I
Well, there was
remember-
2 on South Campbell.
Well, Wet
Okay.
Willie's.
The
yeah.
Wet Willie's
Willie's
was-
sucked.
It
though.
did
I
suck.
mean,
Yeah.
Was
it's
that
nothing.
the more curvy one?
Yeah.
yeah, but
I
Hydro Side
remember-
had 4 lanes, and at times they would come next to each other, and you could cross lanes, 1 to 2 and 2 to 1, and you could do 3 to 4 and 4 to 3.
Yeah.
And
You could get all the way from 1 to 3, but you had to do a couple of
Yeah.
things just right. Yeah, there was some real skill involved in that.
a bit shameless, but I mean the guys we knew how to time it out where you could
course.
cross lines into that beautiful girl that took off on lane
Yes.
3.
Yep.
Yes.
If you waited at the right time, you would. Oh, are you sorry? Are you
sorry.
okay?
Or, yeah.
What's your name? Can I get your number?
Can I? Yeah. Yeah.
It never worked. By the
do
way,
it.
My house phone.
Yeah, some dude just landed on top of me. I think I'd like to go out with him. No, it's not going to work.
you didn't land right on top of him. It was like either right in front or right behind, just to have that casual meetup.
I see, yeah.
Not awkward at all.
Yeah, no, not awkward
I'm sure
at
they
all.
didn't feel violated one bit.
Of course
No,
not.
that wasn't. I remember
Get
seeing
prosecuted these days.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on. I was a high school boy. What do you want?
Okay. Woo, I'm sleepy. I've got the yawns.
We'll have some yerba mate. It'll wake
No,
you
I don't
right
want
up.
Yeah.
Wake you
Go
right
ahead.
Get that away.
Suck
from
out of
me,
that sucker.
Will. Take a horn off this pipe.
Get you some of that filter. That filtered goodness.
All right. Enough show?
Yeah,
Good?
enough for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got work to do.
All right, I'll see. We'll be back
Bye,
next week.
guys.
Bye.